Time to announce one of the biggest IT partnerships that is going to be held with TSSE. I'm hereby inviting Mr. Aravind, the president of Cisco, and General Kocher to come ahead and sign the MOU.
स्किल डेव्हलपमेंट आहे ना कॉन्सेप्ट त्यांना 5 कोटी लोकांशी पाहिजे 10 वर्षात.
MIT is the first academic institute in India to have a TSSE accreditation. And these are for 2 job roles currently. Thank you, sir. Lieutenant General S.P. Kocher to deliver his opening remarks.
Dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, very good afternoon to all of you, and it is indeed a great privilege for me to be standing here addressing all of you, and it warms my heart to see that even post-lunch many of you are still here, mostly students though, so for you it is duty. Nonetheless, this entire rigmarole of whatever is being said today is for you. Finally, it is the trainee who matters. We may say anything about the ecosystem, we may say anything about anything. Finally, if you are studying, amongst other things, one of the most important things is getting a job post-studies. Now that is what I'm going to talk about, because that is what will matter to our nation in the ultimate analysis. Skilling till very recently was taken to be a blue-collar job, meant for people who could not get into academics, and it was not considered to be appropriate for highly qualified and upwardly mobile people. Technology has changed all that. And the very fact that the government has recognized this, the very fact that major industry players have recognized this, shows that there is a tilt today of taking skills into higher fields of employment. Possibly, and this I am saying with a little discomfort, possibly skills will overtake academics. Again, the government has recognized this, and you are aware that very recently the government has passed a Gazette notification saying that anybody who is acquiring skills will get credits for those skills to be utilized in academic courses. Vice versa has not been said, but this route has been opened. This shows the importance that the government is laying on skilling the populace. Government is also aware that as days go by, maximum amount of employment is going to be in the private sector, not in the government sector. So therefore, just talking of skill development in the government sector, utilizing syllabi which are prepared by people sitting in government offices or by archaic systems, as was happening in the ITIs, is no longer valid. They are not employable. Very few of the people who are passing out of the ITIs today are employable. You are aware of it. So they went and took a very pragmatic step, and whoever took that must be congratulated. They involved the private industry in this and involved them fully. The result was NSDC was born, and one of the skill councils that emerged out of that was the Telecom Sector Skill Council. Importantly, our seed money comes from the government, mainly. But, and remember this, but our policies and our day-to-day running are dictated by a council which consists entirely of industry members. Nobody from the government sits in those councils. Otherwise, what was happening was, earlier there were councils and boards which were covertly managed by putting one joint secretary as a member, and the government had full control over the council. This has been overcome. and this is a very bold step. Why did the industry join? After all, their time is precious. Why have they joined in? They feel that now properly skilled manpower is what they require. What they are getting today is not properly skilled manpower, and the amount that they invest in them and the amount that they lose as a result of improper skilling until the time a man actually comes up to the required standards is substantially higher than what they would incur in skilling a person before taking him on the roles. Ideal situation that we in TSSC are looking at is we get the requirement from industry, train the trainees as per the requirements of that particular skill set and get them placed. This is the ideal situation. We are heading towards that slowly. Okay. Now, many of you will say that this hall consists of people who are from the academic field, few students, people from industry, and the like, and some independent, strategic thinking people are also sitting here, I can see. Why skilling? What benefit will skilling get to us? For these youngsters who are sitting here, today if you have to pick up a job, how will you pick up a job? Supposing you had a choice of picking up a job, how are you going to pick up a job? You will consult each other, peer pressure, parents' pressure. Okay, you say that, okay, I'm going into telecom, because telecom is a sunrise sector. It's going through a bad phase, but it has to go up. Okay, you pick up that sector, then you say, in this sector, where should I go? Again, the choice is dictated by the same parameters. Supposing you had an intelligent system, which today TSSC provides, which scientifically maps the future and tells you that these are the openings which are going to occur in various parts of the country, abroad, and these are the skill sets which will be in demand. These are skill sets which are outliving their utility today, maybe in demand today, but are outliving their utility. And if you pick up a skill set today, which may not be very highly paying today, but this is your career mobility, vertically as well as horizontally, won't it benefit you? It will. Then when you go with a certificate which sells like hard currency, and you go to industry and you seek employment and you're carrying that certificate, obviously you will be picked up from the rest. So we are endeavoring, we have succeeded and will continue endeavoring to see that a certification process is very strict, so that our certification sells. We are not going to get into the bandwagon and start giving easily available certificates. That is not our aim. Okay? So this is how it is going to help the students. Another way it will help you is, you are learning academics today. You are all aware that with the academic degree, you cross the threshold, but you are not skilled to take up a job. Whenever you enter industry, you will be placed as an understudy, you will be placed as an apprentice, you may be reskilled, ranging from 2 weeks to maybe 3 months. But if you have a skill certificate with you, in addition to your academic certificate, then the situation will be much different. You are likely to be preferred, you are likely to start off at a better scale, and your ability to go up in that will be much higher. So it is going to benefit you. And which are the areas which we are going to cover? What is telecom? That is a difficult question to answer. Even in the previous session, if you see, it was financial inclusion. Remove the telecom part, remove the ICT part. Is there any inclusion? There is nothing. So it is ICT which is going to drive all this change. And I say that anything that comes in 3 things, to make 3 things happen, any infrastructure which comes in that segment is telecom. And what is that? First is data at rest. Initially the data will be at rest. Second is data in move. Your entire networks, whatever systems you have, come in data in move. And third is data in use, applications. All these apps the gentlemen were talking about is data in use. So if I can cover this spectrum under the banner of TSSC, I would have been able to cover the entire gamut of telecom. This is what we are attempting to do. Okay? And this includes peripheral areas like sales, facilitation. All those things are included as part of this because the ecosystem is not complete without all this. So this is where we are looking at telecom. Today we are focusing mainly at lower levels of skilling. The reason is that the government has come out with a scheme called the STAR scheme, which will help economically downtrodden people and will also help them get a skill without actually shelling out money from their own pocket and getting employed thereafter. So this is a scheme that we are, so to say, chasing for the next few months. And simultaneously, we are also working on higher skill sets in the core telecom area, in the core ICT areas. It is not that we are only going to do this, we are going to do much, much, much beyond that. And that is why I would like you to partner. And I would also have a word for the academic institutions. Academic and skilling cannot be separate. They have to go hand in glove. If we leave skilling initiative only to training providers who open up shop only for the duration of those 30 days, skilling a batch and sending them out, we will not succeed, we will not go too far. But if academics join in and they make it as a curriculum so that the students get the requisite skills, whether in our sector or any other sector, then the employability of that college goes up. And because the employability goes up, their rating in the ecosystem goes up. Why is it that the IIM MBA sells more than an MBA from any other school? Basically, it is because of the placement. Over the years, the placements have been better. So therefore, the name has, it has stuck. So similarly, with skilling, your pecking order is going to go up. So don't ignore skilling. We have various methods of getting associated. I will not take time of the panel. In Q&A, if you wish to ask, I will certainly touch upon that. And I can assure you, we are innovative, we are flexible. I joined TSSC recently, a month and a half back. So therefore, I am not yet into the rut of things the way they were. I am open. I am open to ideas, even from the audience, even during tea. Tell us how to do business, we will do it that way. The final aim is to get the students a decent job or make them entrepreneurs. Okay, that is all that matters. Thank you very much, and we'll meet during the panel.
Okay, very, very inspiring, General. Thank you very much for your expert opinions. My name is Rishi, and I was actually privileged to be a speaker here last year, but life changed, and I am now more a part of the learning and development cycle rather than the corporate. But one thing very pertinent which I understood from General Coach's session, and this is also a precursor to our discussion, is that can we put our hand on our heart and say, I understand what skilling is. So we were having a discussion yesterday, I was having it with a group of youngsters like you, and the debate was that when you talk about the tabla maestro Ustad Zakir Hussain, is he talented, is he competent, or is he skilled? And everybody said, sir, he's talented. And then the question was, that means is he not skilled? They said, no, he's skilled as well. So is he not competent? And then they said, now there is a frame of reference. What is talent? What is competence? And what is skilling? So if it appears to be a difficult question, this is something which in due course of discussions we will deliberate upon, so that when you're looking at getting skilled, it is important at your level you should know what skilling means. The second paradigm shift which I have observed in the last 1 year, and again relevant to our panel, and TSSC has a lot to contribute in that, the definition of telecom has opened up in everybody's mind. Last year when I used to ask people, what job do you want in telecom? Everybody said in an operator domain. I will do prepaid, I will do postpaid. Life never used to move beyond that. When TSSC evolved and they started telling the ecosystem it is not just about operators. Telecom is a lot about ancillaries, a lot about applications, a lot about infrastructure, a lot about distribution. People started to wake up to the cause and say, oh, telecom appears to be extremely, extremely big. The third learning I had when, the opportunity came of discussing with TSSC and in due course, I went through my first skilling session in 1993. I joined Apple Computers and then HCL, and I was told for 3 days you are going into a skilling session. And I came out learning about how to dress up, how to present, and how to speak. So till the time I came to know about the real nuances of skilling, for me, skilling was personality. And the word soft skill is very different than skill. So when you look at TSSC, we talk about core skilling. It is not about soft skilling alone. So as long as you can evolve yourself in this discussion on the magnitude of telecom, what is skilling all about, and skilling has gone far beyond the earlier days of soft skilling, I think we will have a very interactive and an informative session. The second good news for us is that a relevant ecosystem is sitting. Most of the times telecom ecosystem does not sit together, but today we have Chintamani from the devices ecosystem, he represents Sony. We have Manish from Tejas Networks representing infrastructure. We have Journal Kochar helming the skill development in India. And we have Dr. Milind Pandey from the academic institution side. So whatever discussion has to converge on skilling for the masses and skilling for the community, we have the right and the most adequate panel. The way I would run it for the eminence of all of you is, I will be putting up a slide and a thought provoker. I would seek inputs from the panelists, from Chintamani, Manish and Dr. Pandey about their opinions, and I would request Journal Kochar to give us his expert opinion and the master stroke once by listening to the other members and clearing our myths in case there are some doubts which still remain in that area of operation. So without much ado, let me just move ahead. Okay, by the way, I mean, just by looking at this slide, from the perspective of my children being there, when I was studying, for me, in our college it was said, computer भगवान है, उसको 6 महीने में एक बार आप उसको देखोगे, उसको टच करके वापस आ जाना. So this is when I was in 1992-93, we used to touch the computer once in a quarter. And then at your age, probably we saw people at 15-16 years of age working on telecom and computers. And my 6-year-old son, if I tell him ये market में चीज़ available नहीं है, he does it on the internet, and he says, Papa, please feed your credit card number, because I've already found it on the internet. And because he's not bound by where he can be, it's telecom at the end of the day, he hides in the room and does it. So for understanding where skilling is going, you have to understand, I was a potential telecom consumer at the age of 23, you were a telecom consumer at the age of 15, the telecom consumer is sitting at the age of 6 or 7 probably, who understands how it all works. So as long as skilling evolves, and you would see the TSSC website saying, we evolve in our skilling syllabus as well. So once if you have it, every year you will see that changing. So let's look at these slides, and I will offer a discussion with the panel here on. So India, from the perspective of telecom and technology, was running on GSM for till 2010, almost 2 decades. And we suddenly had 3G and 4G both opening up. It is too many, too quick, and it impacted the entire telecom ecosystem, the IT ecosystem, and the consumer electronics ecosystem. The question which I have, where I would expect Chintamani to probably take the helm and start is in our learning and development systems, and he represents HR, so in our learning and development systems, how does and how should skill development add into? So whatever learning and development systems are evolved in the telecom landscape and specifically say Sony, how do you ensure that it is aligned to something which is more related to skill development?
Okay. Thanks, Rishi. Actually, I was as far as learning and development is concerned, from the academic point of view, when the students they are selecting the institute, when they are taking the admissions, what is there in their mindset? Those days gone. Like let me tell you one example. One boy is asking to his father, so father, why do we need 5 fingers when there are only 2 buttons in the mouse? So today's student, they are very smart. They know through the website, through this. Whenever we are interviewing the students through the GDPI process, used to ask what are those skill certifications you have. See, we started, TSSC came into the picture just now from this year with MIT. But prior to that, what was the situation? Was there any skill development program in curriculum? Yes, there was. So on this campus particularly, from the skilling point of view, we do have certain MOUs with like Amdocs, they set up their innovation lab on the campus. The IBM, they came and set up. NVIDIA, we have D-Link Academy. And I remember it, when we started this program in 2007, that MBA in telecom management, the Motorola came forward, they said, look, here is the 80 hours program called Motorola Certified Telecom Manager. The moment you integrate this program with your regular curriculum, the students, they will be ready for the employment. But then the difference what I could see for TSSC is more focusing towards the role specific, territory sales manager, territory manager for broadband. But in case of Motorola, when that time they used to offer, it was general for the telecom industry. But then again coming to the learning and development, the placement is more focused. The students, they are initially asking, what are the job roles you are providing us? What are those companies? In system domain, what are those companies and what are the job roles? In the initial phases, it was very difficult to convince the non-engineering students to take admission for MBA program in telecom finance and telecom marketing. See, what are the job roles available? But then with the help of this telecom sector skill council in the leading and development, at least we are getting more focused onto the job roles for each sector of the students. Whether he is from engineering, whether he is from marketing side, whether he is from finance side.
Okay, thank you. General Kochhar, one, if you can demystify for us what this skill is all about, and how would you expect corporates to incorporate into their learning and development with TSSC support?
I come there, or should I speak?
Mike?
Okay. Understand the process of how we define skill sets. Who is going to employ you all? Who is going to employ you all? Tell me. Companies? Corporates? So isn't it right that their concept of skilling or job roles matches your concept of job roles? That is exactly what we do. Our first step is to go to industry, sit down with them, define a map. We sit with the industry, define a map as to what are the job roles that they have today and what are the job roles they are anticipating in the next 10, 15 years. And what will be the movement in those job roles, vertically as well as horizontal. Once we've done this, we got it endorsed from large number of the members of the industry, then we sit with the industry members and we make syllabi for that. With their acceptance, we get a sign off that if you teach them this syllabi, so many hours practical, so many hours theory, they are acceptable for this job role. Right? We go back to the government and show them that this is a job role that has been created, this is the syllabi which has been created. Please populate it in your database as a national occupational standard, so that this job role is also recognized for government service. Okay. So we have covered the entire ecosystem, private players, government players, acceptable job roles in the private players, acceptable, same job roles acceptable in the government. Create a syllabus for that. Thereafter, we go searching for training providers who can fulfill those job roles, that syllabus, who have the infrastructure to teach those job roles. And since it is a unified job role which is published as an occupational standard on the national portal, anybody who gets aligned to us is teaching standardized syllabi. And we do a third-party assessment. We impanel assessment agencies who are having the requisite inputs. They go and assess the students. Therefore, the assessment is also normalized across the country. And after that, we issue a certificate. Now, this certificate has the endorsement of the industry. It gives normalized training. Okay, what Milind said is very right. Many people are doing skilling, but most people were doing skilling as marketing agents of various companies. Like Motorola came to them, they were trying to sell their own product. We are not looking at any product. We are looking at skilling which is broad-based. And we are mapping it with the development that is taking place in the country. Okay, and you heard the perspective of different people. Different people coming from different segments view telecom like a blind man viewing an elephant. You know, a mobile operator will say telecom is only mobiles. A network operator will say telecom is only networks. A normal telco POTS chap will say, no, ये कुछ नहीं होता, landline. That is telecom. What is telecom? Everything is telecom. So look at it from the entire perspective. Start from the infrastructure. Optics will come in. RF will come in. Last mile will come in. Utilization of all that will come in. Today, NOFN is being rolled out. NFS is being rolled out. Okay, NKN has been rolled out. So thousands of kilometers of fiber. Where are the technicians? Where are the engineers to handle this? Where are the knowledge workers to handle it? So this is telecom. And you have to go from one grade to another grade, you have to be reskilled. So it's a continuous process. Though I was not wanting to, but I'm tempted now to tell you that in the army we do this anyway. We've been doing this right from the beginning. We take a rookie from a village, skill him, and bring him up to a soldier's level. Thereafter, he gets reskilled every 6 months, every year. And this is done in training centers which are equipped to do that. And if he fails, he doesn't get a promotion. So that is what we are emulating here. Only thing is, it is tied up with industry. There it is tied up with a war-fighting machine. But the procedure is the same. Okay? So this I think should...
Definitely. Wise words of wisdom. Interestingly, there is a common opinion that if there is slight compromise in the content, a good trainer and a good assessor makes up for it. But if you have the best content in the world in front of a trainer who's compromised or an assessor who's compromised, the entire effort can go in vain. So when I look at the corporate expectations, where they say that yes, it is important to inculcate skill development in our learning, and TSSC is saying that our biggest weapon is actually the way we assess and ensure that the right kind of organizations are associated, it cannot be better from a win-win situation. And taking this discussion forward, just for the benefit of all of us, these are the 4 sectors in telecom, looking at service providers, handsets, tablets, and consumer premises equipment, your active and passive infrastructure, and network management, which constitute the efforts of the corporate and TSSC in terms of skill building. The question remains is, many people believe people have a career in telecom by accident rather than vision. What that means is, when you're in school, moving into college, do you really have a vision that I'm going to be heading devices in Sony, or I'm going to be heading key account management in Ericsson? So what happens in a way that telecom does not come as the first career choice, maybe because of lack of awareness? And my question to the panel will be, when India is now evolving in so many technologies, GSM, 3G, 4G, CDMA, EVDO, and we have voice, data, prepaid, postpaid, small, medium enterprise, micro, small, medium enterprise kind of telecom packages. And no screen is untouched by telecom. So Sony, I know, has televisions, one of my last projects where we can put dongles and make it telecom ready. We have phones, tablets, laptops, and Samsung, sorry for saying this, Chintamani, but Samsung has rolled out an article called Smart Homes in the Economic Times, where they say our mobile phone can control our washing machines, our air conditioners, so they will connect everything to an Android app, where if you are 5 kilometers away from home, you can ask your washing machine to be on, your burner to be on, your air conditioner to be on. So telecom touches everything, and we have customized content coming in, we have 4G networks launching in. How do we make telecom or telecom related streams a career of choice for people right at the early stage,